Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss few examples and numericals. Okay. So before that, let me tell you few formulas, and then we have to revise all the formulas that we have studied already. So the first thing, सबसे पहले note down the formula for average speed. It is total distance upon total time. Then note down the formula for average velocity. It is u plus v upon 2. Okay, u means, you remember, initial velocity, v means final velocity, and it is simply the ratio. Okay, and now the formulas we studied yesterday, they were simply acceleration equals to v minus u upon t. Okay, now few basic things that you should remember, because in these questions we will be required to convert the speed into, sometimes into meter per kilometer, into kilometer per hour will be converted into meter per second, or meter per second to kilometer per hour. So note down the points to convert speed from kilometer per hour to meter per second. Multiply it by 5 upon 18. Is it clear? Example: if the speed is given as 36 kilometer per hour, so in if you have to convert this into meter per second, what we will do, we'll simply multiply it by 5 upon 18. 18 to, so what we get 10 meter per second. Is it clear? And now the second one, to convert speed from meter per second to kilometer per hour, what we'll do, multiply it by 18 upon 5. Okay, now see, again see the example. Example, if the speed is something 20 meter per second, so what we'll do, we'll simply multiply 20 into 18 upon 5. 5 for the, so the speed becomes 72 kilometer per hour. Clear? Okay, now we should take some basic examples. For example, I'll be discussing 4 to 5 questions today. The first one, a body starts from rest and attains a velocity of 15 meter per second in 3 seconds. Find the acceleration. Okay. Now in this case, read the question very carefully. A body starts from rest. So if you remember, कल ही मैंने आप लोगों को बताया था कि whenever a body starts from rest, so what information do we get from this statement? Whenever a body starts from rest, we know the initial velocity of the body will be 0, and then it says and attains a velocity of 15 meter per second. Attains a velocity, that means finally its velocity becomes 15 meter per second. So it means the final velocity of the body will be 15 meter per second. And in how much time? In 3 seconds. And we have to find the acceleration. So what is the formula of acceleration? The formula of acceleration is v minus u upon t. So it's v minus u upon t. What is v over here? It is 15. What is the value of u? It is 0. Time is 3 seconds. So it becomes 15 upon 3. That means 5. So the answer will be 15 meter per second square. Is it clear? ठीक है. Now let us come to the next question. Now second one, what we'll do? A body was moving with a velocity फाइव मीटर पर सेकेंड. ठीक है. If its velocity becomes 20 meter per second in 2 seconds, find its acceleration. Okay. Now once again read the question carefully. A body was moving with a velocity of 5 meter per second. Was moving with a velocity of 5 meter per second. That means its initial velocity was 5 meter per second. Then what it is saying? If its velocity becomes 20 meter per second. If its velocity becomes, that means finally its velocity is 20 meter per second. So the final velocity becomes 20 meter per second. And how much time it has taken? It has taken 2 seconds. So again we'll put it in the formula of v minus u upon t, because you have to calculate the acceleration. So what is the value of v? It is 20. What is the value of u? It was 5. Time is 2 seconds. What we'll get? We'll get 15 upon 2. If we cancel it, we'll get 7.5 meter per second square. Is it clear? Okay. Then come to the next one. See it again. You can view it properly. Okay. Now the third one. A body moving with a velocity uh, 18 kilometer per hour a body moving with a velocity 18 kilometer per hour gets its velocity reduced to 9 kilometer per hour in 5 seconds. Okay. Find the acceleration. Again, now see, a body moving with a velocity of 18 km per hour. So what was the initial velocity? It is 18 km per hour. But the very important thing, the velocity is given in kilometer per hour. So what we'll do, we'll first convert it into meter per second. And how? By multiplying it by 5 upon 18. So what we'll get 5 meter per second. Now what is further written? It gets velocity reduced to 9 km per hour. That means finally its velocity becomes 9 km per hour. So its final velocity will be 9 km per hour. Again we have to convert this, then we will multiply it by 5 by 18. So 9 2s are, so what we'll get? We'll get 2.5 meter per second. And now what we have to do, we have to find the acceleration. So what is the time taken? The time taken by it is 5 seconds. So the acceleration equals to v minus u upon t. So what is v over here? The value of v is 2.5. And what is the initial velocity? It was 5. And what is the time taken? It is 5 seconds. So what we'll get? We'll get minus 2.5 upon 5. And if we cancel it, we'll get minus 0.5 meter per second square. So what is the acceleration? The acceleration is minus 0.5 meter per second square. And if you remember, I told you about negative acceleration. What is negative acceleration called? It is called retardation. So here you can see the speed of the body was decreasing. Initially it was 18 km per hour, then it became 9 km per hour. That means speed was reduced, and whenever the speed decreases, the body undergoes negative acceleration. So here we get the negative acceleration. And if we can also write it as that retardation will be how much? मैंने बताया था कि जब भी रिटार्डेशन निकालना हो तो वॉट एवर एक्सीलरेशन यू गेट, या तो उसको माइनस साइन से मल्टीप्लाई कर दीजिए और सिंपली रिमूव द माइनस साइन. दैट मीन्स वेन एवर विल टेल द रिटार्डेशन इट विल बी सिंपली इन पॉजिटिव फॉर्म. सो द रिटार्डेशन विल बी 0.5 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. क्लियर? नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन. A body moving with a velocity of 15 meter per second applies brakes and comes to rest in 10 seconds. Find the retardation. Okay, now see, what was the initial velocity? With what velocity was the body traveling? The question says it was moving with a velocity of 15 meter per second. So your initial velocity becomes 15 meter per second. Now brakes are applied and comes to rest. ठीक है, applies brakes and comes to rest. Brake means if you will apply brake, obviously the speed of the body will keep on reducing and finally it comes to rest. So if you remember, मैंने बताया था कि whenever a body comes to rest, the final velocity becomes 0. So you get to know the final velocity. Now in how much time does it do so? It does so in 10 seconds. Now again we have to calculate the acceleration. First it has asked about retardation, but to calculate the retardation, first we need to calculate the acceleration. So it will be v minus u upon t. So what is the value of v? It is 0, u is 15, time is 10. So what we'll get? We'll get minus 15 upon 10, and simply if we put the decimal, we'll get minus 1.5 meter per second square. Okay, meter per second square. Clear? Now what will be the retardation? remove the negative sign, you'll get the retardation. It will be simply 1.5 meter per second square. Clear? Now some different type of question. Next one. Now see. A body starts from rest and accelerates at 2 meter per second square for 5 seconds. Find its velocity after 5 seconds. Now see, what does the question say? A body starts from rest. तो सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन को पढ़ते जाएंगे और जहां से जो इन्फॉर्मेशन मिले विल कीप ऑन नोटिंग दैट. So from the first statement what we come to know, a body starts from rest, that means initial velocity तो 0 हो गई. अब आगे का बढ़ते हैं. And accelerates at 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. अब ध्यान से देखिए यहाँ पर क्या कह रहा है, इट एक्सिलरेट्स, दैट मीन्स इट अंडरगोज एक्सिलरेशन. तो यहाँ से अगर आपको ये बात समझ में आ जा रही है कि इट इज अंडरगोइंग एक्सिलरेशन एट 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर, दैट मीन्स एक्सिलरेशन कितना है 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. अगर इस तरह डायरेक्टली समझ में आ रहा है तो वेरी गुड. अदरवाइज अगर आप इन केस आपको लैंग्वेज समझ में नहीं आती है तो यू कैन वेरी वेल आइडेंटिफाइड बाय इट्स यूनिट. यूनिट में देखिए क्या लिखा हुआ है, 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर किसकी यूनिट होती है, इट इज द यूनिट ऑफ एक्सिलरेशन. सो एक्सिलरेशन कितना दिया हुआ है 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. और फिर आपसे क्या कह रहा है, फॉर 5 सेकेंड्स, कितनी देर के लिए एक्सिलरेशन हुआ है 5 सेकेंड्स के लिए. एंड व्हाट इट इज आस्किंग, फाइंड इट्स वेलोसिटी आफ्टर 5 सेकेंड्स. 5 सेकंड तक एक्सेलरेट हुआ तो ऑब्वियसली 5 सेकंड के बाद जो वेलोसिटी होगी इट विल बी इट्स फाइनल वेलोसिटी. सो व्हाट वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट द फाइनल वेलोसिटी. सो नथिंग न्यू, वही फॉर्मूला होगा, बस अब के हमें निकालना कुछ और है. सो व्हाट विल डू, विल पुट इट इन द सेम फॉर्मूला. अब यहाँ से अगर देखें, सो एक्सेलरेशन इज हाउ मच, दे हैव गिवन यू द एक्सेलरेशन एज 2. वी डोंट नो, initial velocity was 0 and time is 5 seconds. So what we'll get 2 into 5 equals to v, because v minus 0 is 0. V. So what we'll get, v equals to 10 meter per second. Clear? Okay. Now two questions. Now see, how many we have done? We have done 5 questions. Now come to the 6th one. Now see, a car travels a distance of 40 kilometer at 25 kilometer per hour, and next 40 kilometer at 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, then what we have to do, find the average speed of the journey. What we have to find the average speed of the journey. So whenever we have to calculate the average speed का formula आप लोग को याद होगा, it is total distance upon total time. So what we'll do, we'll keep on noting it. So in the first case, first distance was how much? It was 40 kilometers. What was the first speed? It was 25 किलोमीटर पर आवर. तो भाई अब अगर हमें टोटल डिस्टेंस अपॉन टोटल टाइम चाहिए तो टोटल डिस्टेंस तो मिल जाएगा हमें. यहाँ पहला भी डिस्टेंस दिया हुआ है, दूसरा भी डिस्टेंस दिया हुआ है, इसको ऐड कर लेंगे, विल गेट द टोटल डिस्टेंस. बट टाइम वी डोंट हैव. सो टू कैलकुलेट द टाइम, यहाँ से टाइम कैलकुलेट किया जा सकता है. टाइम का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? टाइम इक्वल्स टू डिस्टेंस अपॉन स्पीड होता है. तो यहाँ से देखें अगर, तो व्हाट इज द डिस्टेंस गिवन? इट इज 40 एंड स्पीड कितनी है? 25. So 5 5 जा 5 8 जा. So what we get 8 upon 5 r. अब अगर स्पीड अगर किलोमीटर पर आवर में दी है तो ऑब्वियसली विल गेट द टाइम इन आवर्स. ओके. नाउ सेकंड केस, व्हाट वाज d2? सेकंड डिस्टेंस इट वाज अगेन 40 किलोमीटर. एंड व्हाट इज द स्पीड? सेकंड स्पीड इट इज 50 किलोमीटर पर आवर. So we'll note it down as 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, now see, we have noted down. Now what we'll do, we'll again find the time. So time for the second part of the journey is distance upon speed. जैसा कि अभी मैंने पहले फॉर्मूले में बताया था, you can see distance upon speed. So यहाँ पर भी वही लगा देंगे, distance upon speed. So what we'll get, 0 0 cancel, we'll get 4 by 5 r. Is it clear? Now since we have to find the average speed, so what we'll do, we'll first calculate total distance. तो कितना हो जाएगा? फर्स्ट दैट मीन्स d1 प्लस d2 हो जाएगा. फर्स्ट केस में कितना था भाई? इट वॉज 40. सेकेंड केस में 40, दैट मीन्स इट बिकम्स 80 किलोमीटर. नाउ व्हाट विल डू, विल कैलकुलेट द टोटल टाइम. सो इट विल बी t1 प्लस t2. सो t1 कितना था? अभी कैलकुलेट करके निकाला है. t1 वॉज 8 by 5 r और t2 है 4 by 5. सो 8 by 5 प्लस 4 by 5. अब इसको देखेंगे तो इट विल बिकम 8 प्लस 4, दैट मीन्स 12 by 5. 12 by 5 r. इज इट क्लियर? अब आ जाते हैं फॉर्मूले पे. दैट इज एवरेज स्पीड का फॉर्मूला क्या है? सो अभी हम लोग ने पढ़ा है फॉर्मूला. एवरेज स्पीड इक्वल्स टू टोटल डिस्टेंस upon total time. So what is the total distance? The total distance was how much? It was 80 kilometers. So what we'll do, we'll note 80 upon, what was the total time? It is 12 upon 5. So what we'll do, we will write 12 upon 5. अब इसको सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे तो it will become 80 into 5 upon 12. So 4 3s are 4 20s are. So it becomes 100 upon 3, and if we simplify it, we'll get 33.33 kilometer per hour. Is it clear? You can see it. Okay. Now the next question. Now see this question. A car has to travel 120 kilometers. It covers first 40 kilometer at 20 kilometer per hour. and next 40 kilometer at 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, at what speed must it travel so that its average speed for the journey becomes 40 kilometer per hour. Okay, now see, given that, now how we will solve it? We will divide our journey in three parts. The first one is 40 kilometer per hour, 40 kilometer at a speed of how much? 20 kilometer per hour. Second is again 40 kilometer at a speed of 50 kilometer per hour, and third one we don't know how much, because total distance is for 120, so 40 plus 40 becomes 80, and the remaining distance is again 40. This speed we have to calculate, but we know one thing, that the total speed for this 120 kilometer is 40 kilometer per hour. So what we'll do, if we can calculate the time from here, again time for the second part, and as well as we can calculate the total time taken for the complete journey. Okay, so we'll start. First we'll note down everything and then we'll do the calculations. The distance traveled in the first part was d1 was 40 kilometer, and the speed at which it was traveling, it was 20 kilometer per hour. So what we'll get the time from here. Time will be distance upon speed, so distance upon speed becomes 2, so the time taken is 2 hour. Clear? In the second case, again it travels how much? It travels again 40 kilometer at a speed of 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, now again we should calculate the time for the second slot. So 40 upon 50, so it becomes 4 by 5 hour. Okay, now we don't know the third. We have to calculate the speed in the third slot, the last 40 kilometers, and we don't know anything about it. We only know the distance, neither we know the time, neither we know the speed. So what we'll do, we'll calculate the total time. So we know that average speed equals to total distance upon total time. So the average speed has been given as 40 km per hour. Total distance is 120 kilometers, and the total time we don't know. Total time. So from here what we'll get, total time equals to 120 upon 40. So it becomes 3 hour. Okay. Now see, how we'll calculate the total time. It will be simply total time equals to t1 plus t2 plus t3. पहली जर्नी फर्स्ट पार्ट का जितना टाइम लगा, सेकंड पार्ट का जितना टाइम लगा, और थर्ड पार्ट का जितना टाइम लगा, दैट विल बी इक्वल टू द टोटल टाइम. नाउ वी नो we have calculated the total time as 3 hour. So what we'll do, total time is 3 hour. What was the time taken in the first part? It was 2 hours. So we'll note down 2 plus what was the time taken in the second part? It was 4 by 5 hours. So what we'll do, we'll note down as 4 by 5. And the third part we don't know. So what we'll do, now see, 3 equals to, we'll add this, what we'll get, 5 to the 10 plus 4, 14 upon 5. इसको आप लोग सॉल्व कर लीजिएगा, डायरेक्टली मैं सॉल्व करके बता रहा हूँ. We'll take this to this side, it will become 3 minus 14 upon 5 equals to T3. Now if we solve this, again 15 minus 14 upon 5 will be equals to T3. That means third time becomes 1 by 5 R. Now see, what was the distance in the third part? The remaining distance was 120 minus 40 plus 40, which was basically 40 kilometer. Okay. What is the time taken in the third part? It is 1 by 5 r. And now if we want to calculate the speed, so the formula of speed is distance upon time. Distance over here is 40 and time is 1 by 5, so it becomes 40 into 5 upon 1. That means the total speed becomes 80 kilometer per hour. So if he wants that his average speed should become 40 km per hour for the whole of the journey, then in the last, for the last 40 kilometers he has to travel at a speed of 80 km per hour. Is it clear? Okay, so this is it for today. These were the basic numericals that I wanted to tell you, and I want that you all should practice the basic numericals. Okay, thank you class.